Hello, and welcome to the English Listening Podcast. Today, we will practice English with romantic shadowing story. Remember how shadowing works. You listen carefully, you repeat at the same time or just after the speaker. You do not translate. You focus on rhythm and pronunciation. You listen, you repeat, you follow the voice. Now, take a deep breath. Relax. Let's begin. Her name was Eliza. His name was Noah. Eliza worked at a small art gallery in the city center. She loved colors, paintings, and quiet afternoons. She believed that art could tell stories without words. Noah worked at a cozy bookstore just 2 streets away. He loved novels, poetry, and the smell of old pages. He believed that every book had a soul. They did not know that their lives were about to change. One rainy afternoon, Eliza left work later than usual. The sky was dark. The rain started suddenly. She ran under a small roof near a bookstore. The sign above the door said, "Open." Eliza stepped inside. The bookstore was warm and quiet. Soft music was playing. The smell of coffee filled the air. Noah was standing behind the counter. He looked up. Their eyes met. For a second, everything felt still. Eliza smiled politely. "I'm sorry," she said. "I just needed to escape the rain." Noah smiled back. "You're very welcome to stay as long as you like." Eliza began walking between the shelves. She touched the books carefully. She read the titles slowly. Noah watched her from a distance. He noticed how gentle she was. He noticed how focused she looked. After a few minutes, he approached her. "Can I help you find something?" he asked. Eliza turned around. "Yes," she said. "I'm looking for a romantic novel, something hopeful." Noah thought for a moment. "I think I know the perfect one." He walked to another shelf and picked up a book. When he handed it to her, their fingers touched slightly. Eliza felt her heart beat faster. She didn't understand why. She bought the book and thanked him. Before leaving, she said softly, "Maybe I'll come back for another recommendation." Noah answered, "I'll be here." And she did come back. The next week, she returned the book. "It was beautiful," she said. Noah smiled. "I'm glad you liked it." They started talking more about stories, about art, about favorite movies, about childhood dreams. Eliza told him she always wanted to travel to Paris. Noah told her he wanted to write a novel one day. Days turned into weeks. Eliza visited the bookstore often. Sometimes she bought books, sometimes she didn't, but she always stayed to talk. One evening, Noah said, "Would you like to get coffee after work?" Eliza hesitated for a second. Then she smiled. "Yes, I would." They went to a small cafe nearby. They sat by the window. The city lights reflected on the glass. They talked for hours. They laughed easily. It felt natural. It felt safe. From that night on, they began seeing each other regularly. They walked in the park on Sundays. They visited museums together. They shared headphones and listened to music. One day, Eliza said, "I feel different when I'm with you." Noah looked at her carefully. "In a good way?" he asked. She nodded. "Yes, in the best way." Noah reached for her hand. He held it gently. "I feel the same," he said. Their relationship grew stronger. They supported each other. When Eliza had a difficult day at work, Noah listened patiently. When Noah doubted his dream of writing, Eliza encouraged him. "You are talented," she said. "Don't give up." Months passed. Noah began thinking about the future. He couldn't imagine his life without her. He started planning something special. He remembered the first day they met, the rain, the bookstore, the warmth. So he decided to recreate that moment. One evening, he asked Eliza to come to the bookstore after closing time. She arrived and noticed something different. The lights were softer than usual. There were candles on a small cable. Soft music was playing. Noah said gently, "Eliza, do you remember the day you walked in here?" She smiled. "It was raining." "Yes," he said, "and you changed my life that day." He took her hands in his. "My life was already good, but with you it became meaningful. You are my favorite chapter, my favorite story, my favorite person." Eliza felt tears in her eyes. Noah knelt down slowly. He opened a small box. Inside was a simple, elegant ring. "Eliza," he said, "will you marry me?" There was silence for a moment. Then Eliza smiled through her tears. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, I will." Noah placed the ring on her finger. They hugged tightly. Outside, the rain began to fall softly again. It felt like the world was celebrating with them. A few weeks later, they organized a small engagement party. Their families were there. Their friends were there. There was music. There was laughter. There were happy tears. Noah's parents hugged Eliza warmly. Eliza's sister congratulated them excitedly. Noah stood up and made a short speech. "Love sometimes comes quietly," he said. "Sometimes it walks into your life on a rainy afternoon." Eliza looked at him with love in her eyes. After the party, they walked home together. Eliza looked at her ring. "It's beautiful," she said. "You're more beautiful," Noah replied softly. They laughed. They talked about their future, about their wedding, about traveling together, about building a home full of books and paintings. They were not just in love. They were partners. They were best friends. They were ready for a new chapter. And this time, the story was theirs. That's the end of today's extended romantic shadowing story. Today, we practiced emotional vocabulary, storytelling, and romantic expressions in English. Remember, listen again, repeat again. Follow the rhythm. Shadowing helps your pronunciation, fluency, and confidence grow step by step. Thank you for listening to the English Listening Podcast. See you in the next episode.